Hello again, everyone. It's This Week in Agribusiness meteorologist Greg Solye. We're in for Max Armstrong. Welcome to Farm Progress Dateline Drought. Our coverage of the drought of 2012 is brought to you by Genuity Drought Guard Hybrids. Well, weather ought to be in relatively good order for this year's show. Over the course of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we continue on with a spell of late season heat out there. And outside of some areas of early morning low clouds, fog, or early morning aviators take note with maybe some IFR ceilings for a few hours right around the daybreak hour and sunup time. Expectations of sunshine, a few puffy fair weather clouds, and temperature readings pretty much ranging from the upper 80s to lower 90s during most afternoons. Just a slight breeze expected for the next day or so. We'll pick it up out of the south and southwest as we move on through the day on Thursday. Late Thursday night brings the next chance for a couple of showers and thunderstorms. Speaking of moisture, we've talked about this time and time again on these get-togethers and on This Week in Agribusiness. The really only means to make a significant, substantial dent in this type of widespread drought pattern is to bring a remnant tropical system northward. Well, guess what? We're going to do just that. Not drought ending, mind you, but drought easing rains are ahead with landfall from Isaac somewhere either side of New Orleans by the time we get to either late Tuesday night or the pre-dawn hours of Wednesday. A track to the north and northwest. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and take a look at it, how it plays out over the remainder of the week. And here is the remnant circulation still in tropical storm fashion across Louisiana on Thursday. This system will begin its track to the north and northwest, heading up across Arkansas during the day on Friday, a little bit south of the Ozarks by midday. Come Saturday morning, that system is situated somewhere just maybe a little bit west and southwest of about Hannibal, Missouri, and a continued track across parts of central Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. This is over the course of Sunday and into Monday. Some of those inaugural Big Ten football games may encounter some squally weather, if you will, gusty winds, some downpours, and perhaps some rain totals that will be significant. We saw some of that over the past weekend, once again over the central Corn Belt areas of Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa. Areas to the south and southwest were certainly shortchanged. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at it with the precipitation totals over the next 2 to 3 days, 5 to 10, some spots 15 inches into parts of Mississippi and Alabama. Look at the finger of moisture into Missouri and ultimately central and southern Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio over the weekend. Early next week, too, at 1 to 3, some spots up to 5 inches of rain. That's a check on weather. Now on to markets and Arlen Suderman.
Hi, this is Arlen Suderman with Dateline Drought, standing in for Bryce Knorr, who's on assignment this week. As we look at today's markets, we saw it really was a disappointing day for the bulls. They pushed prices higher overnight, concerned about supplies and shrinking crop size with demand needing to be rationed more, but simply could not sustain that strength into today's pits. We did see some pull-down strength from the outside markets, particularly the crude oil and the gold markets, as well as the equity markets. But frankly, it's just a matter of the bulls not having enough to be able to sustain the rally. The bears skeptical this year's fundamentals, anxious to sell the market. Overall, corn remains in a broad sideways trading range. Soybeans have a little bit of an upward bias to them, but are vulnerable until we get more proof of the size of this year's crops. We have Tropical Storm Isaac moving into the Gulf of Mexico, expected to turn into at least a Category 1 hurricane before it makes landfall over the next 24 to 36 hours. Generally expecting to impact heavy rains and high winds along the Gulf. Not expected to do a great deal of crop damage, although localized areas where crops are unharvested it could. But maybe the more significant impact will be to bring rains, maybe even heavy rains, up into the southern Midwest where corn is vulnerable from weak stocks this year, corn that hasn't been harvested yet. It will bring much needed relief to the soft red winter wheat belt and help get it established. Also keeping an eye on Typhoon Bolivan in China could provide some damage to crops there as well. Overall, the drought continuing to dry this year's crops up, mature them, small crops getting smaller. Probably too late for this week's rains from Tropical Storm Isaac to significantly impact the crops positively, but we will see some relief to the winter wheat crop.